500 World Championship, and they are underway. And in the inside, it looks like Jean-Michel Bayle has grabbed the whole shot. As you see a massive traffic jam, and one rider is down, a back marker. I can't really make out his number. Now, in between motos, Bruce Flanders has reported to us that Jean-Michel Bayle suffered a rear brake failure on his Honda. This slowed him down and enabled Jeff Ward to pass him. The bike has been fixed according to Flanders' report, and there you see number 67, Jean-Michel Bayle, out in front. And Larry, I think there's a lot of pride on the line in this moto.
Well, there definitely is, Dennis. Not only McCarter, but Jean-Michel Bayle, who is looking to win his first ever 500cc World Championship Grand Prix. And as a matter of fact, I would point out that this is the first time he has ever entered a 500cc Grand Prix. But let's talk about Jeff Ward, who won moto number 1, and right now is struggling back in the pack. He's got a lot of riders to pass. There is the pride factor. Ward would like to round out his career with a Grand Prix win, and certainly he would like to do it here in the United States. Pride, it's all up and down this line.
In second place, you see number 69, Damon Bradshaw. He finished 4th in the first moto. He is on a air-cooled Yamaha WR base, and he could be a threat here in the second moto. See a quick glimpse of number 3, that's Dirk Gookins. He is currently lying 3rd in the World Championships, and no doubt he would like to better his performance in the first moto.
Dennis, you mentioned Damon Bradshaw's on an air-cooled bike versus a liquid-cooled bike. Let's spend just a second talking about that. The liquid-cooled motorcycles supposedly cool the engine and keep the temperatures down so that the loss of horsepower is, it isn't so drastic as with an air-cooled bike. Supposedly they do a better job. Now, they've tested this air-cooled motorcycle throughout the 500cc National Championship Series here in the States. The difference being, though, our motos here in the United States are only 30 minutes long. We're looking here at 45 minutes because we're in excess of 100 degrees heat. So that could be a factor before the moto is over for Damon Bradshaw.
One footnote on the Bradshaw situation, that air-cooled machine is being tuned by the legendary mechanic Brian Lunas, who tuned the likes of Bob Hanna, among others. There is number 67, Jean-Michel Bayle, as you see the reflection as the sun is beginning to set and the shadows are beginning to lengthen here at Glen Helen. Even though it is late in the afternoon here, we are still hovering around the century mark. The drop of the gate of the second motor, we hit 101 degrees. There's the RK XL scoreboard. We'll be right back after this timeout. Battle for the lead of the USGP is on as number 67, Jean-Michel Bayle, is feeling the pressure from the teenage sensation from Charlotte, North Carolina, number 69, Damon Bradshaw, aboard the Yamaha. Now, Larry, these guys are no strangers to each other. These guys are arch rivals, in fact, bitter rivals.
Damon Bradshaw, Dennis, anyone on the racetrack is a bitter rival. Jean-Michel Bayle is the best in the world. Earlier today, we took a close-up look at this young man.
Well, he has an incredible amount of natural ability, which there are and have been many riders that also do. But Jean-Michel has also the unique ability to want to win, and that narrows down the field considerably. There's a lot of riders that want to win that don't have this ability, but when you put the two combination together like that, it's amazing. He's unstoppable.
Cliff White has seen and worked with the best. His assessment of Bayle might be considered biased, but those in the know agree with White 100%. Despite his on-track heroics, Bayle has not had the easiest time fitting in with U.S. riders. He reflects on his odyssey off the track from that new French guy to U.S. Supercross champion.
Yeah, I think first when I come here, they say, oh, who is this guy, you know? So the first couple of races, they say, this is just try to find who I am. And after they know I am world champion, so they say, okay, it's good, he's world champion, and he didn't win any race. So they say it's good because we ride in a national championship, and this guy, world champion, come and, you know, never finish a supercross race or finish, you know, not in the top 10. So they was, I think, happy. And, but, you know, I start to learn and just try to, you know, to getting used to the US and to the track. And now I make a lot of progress, and I start to win a lot of races. So I'm very happy to make, you know, the championship era. And I don't think they are very happy, but, you know, I do my job.
And there is number 67, Jean-Michel Bayle, getting the job done as he speaks. Now, report from the pit. Jeff Ward is on the charge again. As in the first moto, he has worked his way up through the pack, and there he is. He is trailing George Jobay for third. Now Jobay has displaced Dirk Lukens, who earlier curled down third, and there's a pass. Ward just streamed right by Jobay.
What a move Ward made. Jobay got a little bit lopsided there. He went way to the wall, Dennis, and I think that he was a little bit out of kilter, and that left the hole open for Jeff Ward. He just dialed it in, took that low line around the corner, threw a little bit of dirt and said goodbye, and he is now holding down the number 3 position, and I'd say estimate maybe 8 seconds back from Bradshaw.
He has really pulled away. Now, Larry, here's the replay. Describe what happened here.
Okay, watch again as Jobay goes way to the outside. See, he faltered there momentarily, possibly missing a gear. Hard to tell, but something happened to him. And oh, there's Jackie Martin. Something happened to Martin. He's found himself up on the wall and into the banners, and he's not going to be a factor in this one.
Now here's one rider who could very well be a factor before the day's out. Number 6, Billy Lyles, who's currently holding down 5th place. Lyles is from Georgia. He's been campaigning in Europe over the last 5 years. In fact, last year he was vying for the title before a broken leg put him out of contention. Earlier we had a talk with him about racing in Europe.
In the beginning, they didn't treat me so well. I was kind of an outcast because many of the Americans who've been over there before had left a bad taste in their mouth, so to speak. And, you know, by staying there, I proved that I was willing to accept the ways that they do things and work around the problems that I had to be there and everything and stick it out.
And speaking of sticking it out, there is Jean-Michel Bayle, number 67, who is sticking it out and lengthening it out. He now has a substantial lead over the field, and he is running faster in Moto number 2 than he ran in the early stages of Moto number 1.
This is unbelievable to me, Dennis, in this extreme heat, and after all of the wear and tear, not only on the motorcycle but on his body, that he is able to put in a performance like that. Now, while we were away, Jeff Ward, and that's Ward that we're looking at right there, has taken over the number 2 position. So Ward, all the way from 10th at the start, working through the pack up to 2nd. Now, we're looking at champions out here, the heart of a champion. It's not something you can describe. You just have to know what it is, and both the men out front have it. Jean-Michel Bayle, Jeff Ward, and here's a battle for the number 3 position. Jobay has it. He has passed Damon Bradshaw. That dropped Jobay back to, or put Jobay rather up in the 3rd, Bradshaw 4th, and we saw Billy Lyles, and here's that battle for the number 3 spot. And I don't know that it's a battle because actually Jobay has made the pass and walking away.
Now, don't you walk away as we check out the RKXL scoreboard. Come on back. Final stages of the United States Motocross Grand Prix. It is Moto 2, and this man, number 6, Billy Lyles, is currently holding down the 4th position. Larry, you've seen Billy since his early days in Georgia racing. This guy is getting better with age.
Well, I hate to date myself, Dennis, but the first time I saw Billy Lyles, he was winning mini-bike championships here in the United States, and he won a ton of them. Had a great rise to the top. He was a factory rider here, then went on to Europe, and he's doing great things over there. And speaking of great things, this man, George Jobay, what can you say? 4 times a world champ. He won that title for the first time, a world championship title, back in 1980. That was 11 years ago.
When a rider is that successful over that long a period of time, you've got to examine his motivation. We talked to George Jobay earlier about that very aspect of racing.
I think that Belgium is a very small country, but people are very motivated to do what they do. So Eric and I think we have same plan, same thing in the head is motivation. And that's one of the reasons why we have, I think he had 5 titles, and today I have 4 titles.
Larry, when you talk about Belgian riders and world's motocross titles, well, the two are synonymous.
Indeed they are. As a matter of fact, Dennis, if you check the record books, you'll find that among the Belgian world champions, they have claimed 25 25 World Championships. Andre Bayle had 2. Joel Robert in the 250 class had 6. Roger DeCoster and Gabors each claiming 5 in the 500 classes. Well, actually, Gabors was spread out. He did his in 3 different classes, 125, 250, 500. And Jobé has 4. Gaston Ryer, 125 world champ 3 times. So that country does breed champions.
And one final footnote on Belgian riders, Malherbe and Rayer went on to win the prestigious Paris-to-Dakar rally. So they are not only prevalent in motocross, but in rally-type events as well. Number 6 is Billy Lyles. We talked about him earlier. You saw the graphic a couple of seconds earlier to substantiate that he is, in fact, holding down 4th place and putting in a sterling performance here in Moto number 2. No doubt that Billy Lyles will be a factor in next year's World Championship.
Well, I would like to think so, and I think a lot of American fans will hope that same way. He started out the year rather slowly, but has really come on strong. And speaking of strong, what more can you say? We delivered a lot of accolades toward this young man throughout the afternoon, but he deserves every one of them. That, of course, is rider number 67, Jean-Michel Bayle. This guy has done everything, Dennis, in motocross in the United States this year. Going back earlier, he captured a pair of world championships. He won one in the 125 class. The following year, he won one in the 250 class. Wanted to come to America, though. According to Bayle, the world champions are hollow unless they come here and beat what he claims to be the best riders in the world, the American riders. So Bayle came to the United States, and he has done just that. Earlier in the year, Bayle captured the Supercross crown. He captured the 250cc outdoor crown and is currently leading the 500 championship chase. Earlier, we asked him the difference between 250s and 500s.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the 500 is more hard to ride than the 250, but I think, it's different because 500, you have a lot of horsepower, so you have to ride very smooth and try to be perfect every turn. If you make a mistake with the 500, you lose a lot of time. But, so you have to ride very smooth and you have to try to be very precise with your line and everything. So I like a lot to ride in 500 and I'm more fast with the 500.
Jean-Michel Bayle has displayed his mastery of the 500cc motocross machine all day long. Earlier you heard Cliff Wright talk about the virtues of Jean-Michel Bayle. Larry Myers, in your opinion, what makes this guy number 1 in the world?
Well, Dennis, he is what other riders would call a technical rider, and he is the best at being a technical rider. He finds lines that no one else ever sees. In Supercross, where smashing and banging is the name of the game, Bayle just coasts through the corners unmolested, never hits anyone else, but he flat gets the job done. He just frankly is the best there is. So we'll take a quick look at the RKXL scoreboard, and we'll be back with the finale right after this.